We here with another powerful presentation, waking you up early in the morning, get you started with some knowledge. Today we're gonna be talking about the Clash of the Titans movie in ancient Ethiopia. Okay, and we need a lot of our history. We don't even know it's our history. We don't even know it's our history. Okay. And the Clash of the Titans was a big movie. If you haven't watched, one of the great one of the great sayings in that movie is unleash the Kraken. Unleash the Kraken, which is a monster that destroys anything, come up out the water and destroy anything in its way. Okay, let me make sure I'm live. Y'all can hear me. If you out there and you hear me, let me know I'm in the house. And let me know if my sound is good. Let me see. Matter of fact, I can bring it up myself. I can bring it up myself. Let me see if I'm in the house. Yeah, let me see if I'm in the house. Give me a thumbs up. Okay, I hear myself. Okay, I hear myself. Nah, what this movie is about. Let me explain myself. What this movie is about is this Greek hero named Perseus, who is the son of Zeus. He's a demigod. He's one of the great heroes of Greek mythology. He falls in love with this princess named Andromeda, but she's cursed. You see, her mother, whose name is Cassiopeia, and that if you into astronomy, Cassiopeia is a constellation. So is Andromeda, and so is Andromeda's father, Cephas. He's also a constellation. So understand that. But her Andromeda is supposedly so beautiful, you see, and her mother boasts that she's even more beautiful than Hera, the queen of the gods. And Hera didn't like that. And so she curses Cassiopeia. No, she curses Andromeda, the princess, and and tells her mother and father that they must sacrifice her. You see, to this monster that they call the Kraken, which is a sea monster, and they supposedly and tie her up, and this monster gonna come up out of the water and eat the princess. But Perseus, the hero of the movie, he's trying to figure out a way to save the princess. And so he takes a trip to the Fates. And the Fates are these witches, that know, that you can ask them anything and they'll give you the answer. And so he asked them, how could he stop the Kraken? And they told him there's only one way you could do it, and that's with the head of Medusa. Now, anybody knows Medusa knows that if you just look at Medusa, you see that you will turn into stone. So he goes to this island because nobody can live around Medusa. She stayed on the island by herself. And so you got to go to this obscure island. And when he got there, it was all kind of people that had come there to try to kill that Medusa, and they was turned into stone. It was stone statues all over the place. So-called heroes and soldiers that tried, and they never succeeded in killing this Medusa. But Perseus ends up cutting her head off. He put it in a bag, and he had access. He was blessed by Zeus with a flying horse that they call Pegasus. You see, and he was flying back and forth on this horse. And so now he's trying to get back. I believe the city is Argos. He's trying to get back to Argos so he could save this princess. They done tied her up on like a cliff. and the monster is coming up out of the water to eat her. And right before he was about to eat her, you could see Perseus and Pegasus flying through the air on the horse, on the flying on the Pegasus. And when he got close enough to the Kraken, he pulls out Medusa's head and he shows and the Kraken looks at Medusa and he turns into stone. You see, he turn. Now, what does this story have to do with us as African people? Nobody has told you that Andromeda is an Ethiopian princess, that her mother, Cassiopeia, is the queen of Ethiopia. Do you understand me? And that her father, Cephas, is the king of Ethiopia, and that the whole story takes place, the majority of the story takes place in Ethiopia. But by looking at this movie, you would never know that. There was not one black actor in the movie. And it's taking place in Ethiopia. Ethiopia meaning land of the burnt faces. And so I say, wow. And do you know, they had a earlier, the first movie came out in the 80s. The first movie came out in the 80s. And when I was young, I went to see that movie. And wow, it was like a cult, it was a cult hit. It was a cult hit, and people love that movie. Down even to this day, I think the original one is still better than the new one. The newer one came out in the 2000s. But, but the fact that even back then, I didn't know that. No, I didn't know until I got older that, Andromeda was an Ethiopian princess and that her mother, Cassiopeia, was the queen of Ethiopia, and that her father, Cephas, was the king of Ethiopia. I mean, and the crazy thing about it, even in the Bible, when they show the queen of Sheba, which is, the queen of Ethiopia, they always show a white woman. I say, and I'm thinking to myself, like, wow. How bold can you be, to show Ethiopian people, dark people, black people as pearly white, So a lot of our history that they have bleached it to and if nobody even tells us, that we would think this was actually a European story. You wouldn't have no idea that this is actually taking place in Africa. You see? So even when I have the little children's Bible, the picture Bible, and you see the Queen of Sheba in there, it's a white woman. It's a white woman. It's supposed to be the Queen of Ethiopia. And they never depict African people in these stories, and they primarily take place in hot regions where they would not be indigenous at all, and they will not show not one black person in the whole Bible. I had that pictorial Bible, and I don't believe it showed not one black person. And even when they showed the Ethiopian, they showed them to be dusty European types. They still looked at you and they put a little dust on them to make them look like they've been in this, but they still look European. I say, wow. But this just show you, family, a lot of our history is right in front of our face, but there's a veil over it. You see, it's a veil over that history. And if you don't have teachers like Dr. Ben, Dr. John Henry Clark, like the General Cyrus Seti, that remove that veil and tell you that this is actually talking about you, you wouldn't even know it. So people will steal your legacy and your history and rewrite it and retell it right in front of your face, and you wouldn't even know that it was your history. Most people, when they look at the Clash of the Titans, they probably thought that that movie took place. They probably thought that that movie took place in Greece or Rome. You see, they probably thought it took place in Greece or Rome, but it did not. It took place in Ethiopia, okay, with not one black actor in the whole movie, not one black actress in the whole movie. Didn't show one. You got the movie Gods in Egypt. Did they show? They had one black man in there. I believe that was the brother that played the Black Panther. I think he played Tahuti, but that probably was the only black actor. They had one black actor in the whole movie. You see, the one, the Exodus, with the Exodus, that the movie supposed to be one of, so great a movie. They spent all that money, didn't have one black actor. At least the first Ten Commandments. And they didn't have no whites in that movie, blacks in that movie either. They had them as far as the Ethiopians. Yeah, they did show the Ethiopians black, but they did not show one ancient Egyptian in the first 10 Commandments with Charleston Heston. Did not have one black in the movie. That's crazy. So family, I want to understand why, again, why they still in our history. Tell us we ain't got no history, but they whitewash everything that belongs to us. You better wake up out there, family. Go check that movie out, do some research, find out that Andromeda is an Ethiopian princess, find out that Cassiopeia is an Ethiopian queen, find out that Cephas is a Ethiopian king, find out that the majority of the movie take place in Ethiopia, and look at that movie and see it don't even have one black actor in the movie at all. One black actress in the movie at all. Such a shame. Such a shame. You feel what I'm saying? I appreciate y'all being in the house. Yeah, I appreciate y'all being in the house, family. We getting up early, putting some knowledge. Uh-oh, y'all just coming in. I'm about to get up out of here. I'll be black in just a minute. We're going to give you a little 10-minute bits of ancient wisdom and knowledge. Stay with the general. Get over to my Patreon, kingseti.com. Support the general, and I'll be right black. Boom. Black power.